Hello and welcome to Simple Country Place. I have 4 super easy meal ideas for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, welcome, and enjoy. So the first thing I'm making is like a pizza bread. And I will say, like, we were playing like Food Survivor. I needed to go grocery shopping like super bad. So I just kind of threw this together. But I'm making this sauce for the pizza bread first. And I have those chili ready tomatoes that I'm using as like the base. To that I added Italian seasoning, oregano, and garlic powder. And then mixed that up and just let it heat up. So once that was heated up, I just have like a roll, a hoagie brat roll or something that I'm using. Spreading the sauce down, had pepperonis, a layer of pepperonis, and then Parmesan shredded cheese, and then another layer of pepperonis, some more cheese, and grated, like the grated shaker Parmesan on top. And once all that was layered up and good to go, I just threw this into the oven under the broiler to melt the cheese and heat everything up. I will say this would be better with like mozzarella cheese or something. Melty. However, again, I had to work with what I had. So, and I just served that with some fresh carrots and veggie dip on the side. And it was quick and easy, and my husband liked it. I think I actually made that for lunch one day. On this day, I made white chicken chili. So I have some onions and garlic sauteing, and then I'm going to be adding a bunch of beans. So Great Northern beans, Catalini beans, black beans that were all drained and rinsed, and then that bag of frozen corn, and a can of green chilies. I mixed that together, and then I'm adding chicken broth, quote unquote. I always use water and bouillon cubes to make the chicken broth, and I debated on adding jalapeno to this, but my nephew can't really handle a lot of spice, so I did not add the jalapeno. So for seasonings, once I had all that water and the bouillon cubes in, I added cumin, cilantro, and taco seasoning. And then I covered this and let it come to a simmer for quite some time. I mean, at this point, there's really no meat in there. It's just to keep, the flavors to come together, everything to heat up nicely. Once it had a good simmer for some time, I added that entire block of cream cheese and then let that heat up and melt into that. I just kind of broke it up and kept stirring, and obviously it was really hot, so it did not take long to melt at all. So at this point, I removed some of this before adding in chicken, because if you know, I'm a vegetarian, so I wanted just like a serving for myself. And then, so I had some cooked shredded chicken that I added to the rest of it, and then just let that hang out in there and heat the chicken through. And I just served that with some extra cheese on top and biscuits. And so something different. My husband really liked it. The nephew liked it. And I really liked it too. So win, win, win. On this day, I made Frito bowls. So I have some ground beef with onions and bell peppers that I'm cooking together to brown the meat. At this point, for seasonings, I just added cumin. The meat was probably about halfway-ish done. So I added cumin, mixed that around, and then let that continue to cook. Once that was all cooked through, I just added some salsa con queso, or like nacho cheese, whatever is your favorite. Just a few, I don't know, scoops or tablespoons of that. And mix that around to make it all nice and cheesy. And this, I say, is Frito bowls, which is like the inspiration. I found like a recipe for Frito bowls, but also known as like a taco salad. I mean, just another different presentation for a Tex-Mex type dish, in my opinion. So I have corn chips, the off-brand of Fritos. I'm adding to the bottom of this bowl, adding the meat mixture. Of course, layering on some shredded cheese, and then favorite toppings. So lettuce, tomato, taco sauce. My nephew likes sour cream on his. I like sour cream, but I didn't eat this meat mixture. And if you watch my videos, you know that my husband loves all things Tex-Mex. My nephew does too. He likes Mexican stuff, so this is always a win. And it's fast, easy weeknight meal. On this night, I made ham and broccoli bake. My nephew actually asked me to make this. It's something like a version of this. His mom makes a version of this, and so he's like, you should make that for me sometime. So I'm a sucker when it comes to doing what the nieces and nephews want, so I was like, okay. And I did have some ham left over that was like frozen in my freezer that I thawed, so that's what I'm doing. I am just heating that up with some, what's that stuff? Garlic, and getting the garlic to saute. And then to that, I'm adding whole milk and continuing to mix around. I added Parmesan cheese, both shredded and grated. And some pepper for seasonings. Honestly, I would have added more seasonings to this. However, my nephew likes things pretty plain, and since he's the one that asked me to make this and I was cooking it mostly for him, obviously my husband ate it too, but it was like his request, so I kept it pretty basic. So I had steamed some broccoli, added that in, and then cooked some noodles, added those cooked noodles in as well. Mixed that around, and then once that was all mixed together, I added the rest of the shredded Parmesan on top, and then some Colby Jack cheese as well to have like the melt aspect. And then just put this in the oven. I mean, it's a one pot dish, so super easy. When I threw that in the oven, I just had the cheese melt, and then when I took it out of the oven, I did let it sit for a little bit to thicken up, or like rest, I guess they call it, to thicken up, just otherwise it'll be kind of like soupy. And I just served that with some biscuits on the side. And my nephew liked it, he was happy I made it, and my husband enjoyed it as well. So thank you so much for watching. Please come back for future videos.